What's going on, everybody? It's Necessary Nerd here, and Superman is back. Whether you're ready for it... Did y'all hear that? Must have been my thighs.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anyways, whether you're ready for it or not, Kryptonian Clark is now back on the big screen, and shockingly, this movie has become very divisive. Apparently, if you love it, you're wrong, and if you hate it, you're wrong. And I really do understand why, because this movie is kind of a mixed bag, but what we're gonna do is, this is not gonna be like a play-by-play review. I'm just gonna kind of give you some things that I liked and didn't like. There's the possibility for like maybe the mildest of spoilers, but nothing you can't get from the trailer or some of the clips that are on YouTube. So right off the bat, let's talk about the things that I liked, and the first thing is the entire cast is very talented. James Gunn has managed to stack the deck in his favor, and pretty much everyone in this movie is a really good actor or actress. This is going to be a common reference that you hear in any kind of reviews with this movie, and that is that whatever faults the movie may have, it's not because of the actor's talent. But enough beating around the bush. Let's get really into the meat of this thing, and that is, how is Superman in this movie? I thought he was pretty good, honestly. I mean, there are a couple of little gripes that I have, which is going to be a common occurrence with every character in this movie, as the script kind of betrays a lot of these characters, but for the most part, Superman is pretty good. I especially like how hopeful and trusting he is, and it actually makes sense when you think about his character. I mean, if you were a super-powered, indestructible alien on some random planet, yeah, you'd probably be willing to trust everybody, because what are they going to do to you? So yeah, I liked how he was a bit more hopeful than in Man of Steel. Speaking of Man of Steel, one thing this movie does way better is Lois Lane is actually interesting. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Amy Adams is a very talented actress, but I don't think anyone who watched Man of Steel is going to accuse her and Henry Cavill of having any kind of chemistry. So yeah, Lois in this movie, once again, a couple of gripes that I'll get to later, but for the most part, I thought she was done way better in this movie. Now, what about the other characters? What about Lex Luthor? Don't worry, we'll get to that later. Another big positive of this movie is that the movie looks really good. The CGI looks way better than it did in the trailers. I don't know if they cleaned things up or not, but yeah, the movie overall looks really good. I like Superman's costume. I like seeing that classic color scheme again. I like how the Fortress of Solitude looks like it's supposed to look, and when this movie is going good, it's really good. Also, it's nice seeing Krypto on the big screen. I mean, the movie doesn't exactly use him in the best way, but yeah, it's really fun to see Krypto on the big screen. Overall, that's pretty much what I liked about the movie. Now, for the next part, which is always the fun part, the things I didn't like. Right off the bat, you may hear this come across in other like detailed reviews or stuff with this movie, but it suffers from the same problems as the DCEU and the MCU at the exact same time. What I mean by that is that it has DCEU world building and character growth with MCU humor. Just like with the DCEU, this movie assumes that we either don't want or need character introductions to connect with them, and honestly, I have to disagree there.
Who are you people?
This movie is so frustrating because it feels like jumping into the Lord of the Rings trilogy like halfway through the second movie. There are all these character backstories and motivations and side plot lines and stuff like that the movie just assumes that we already know, and it's to the detriment of the movie itself. Also, just like with the DCEU, Lois Lane is criminally underutilized. I mean, they finally have a Lois and Clark that, you know, they actually have chemistry this time, so why not use them? And because this movie is constantly trying to fix its problems with MCU humor, it feels like we're watching the Joss Whedon version of the Justice League just done better. So many great scenes are ruined by MCU humor because everyone has to be quippy, everyone has to have a joke. I don't understand why Hollywood keeps doing this. I don't know if they think that this new generation talks like that, but they don't. And arguably the biggest gripe I have with this movie is the use of MCU humor ruins the character of Lex Luthor. Now, just like I said with everyone else in this movie, I believe they got the right person for the role. They have very talented actors all across the board. Nicholas Hoult had the potential to give us a really good Lex Luthor. And at first, it looks like we're gonna get just that. There's a scene where he's playing Russian roulette with this guy because he's trying to get information. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And when he just pulls the trigger so casually, it really gets that point across to just how cold-hearted Lex actually is. And at first, you're like, oh sweet, this is gonna be a great Lex Luthor. But the script totally betrays the character and just turns him into one big joke. And one of the biggest offenders with turning Lex into a joke is actually the use of Krypto. Now this goes directly back to my issues that I mentioned with Krypto, because Krypto in one scene, like, okay, let me set the scene for you guys. You already know that in the MCU, characters hardly ever have discussions where they're just sitting there and talking and something doesn't happen and ruin the moment. Well, that happens again. Lex and Superman are having this conversation and it's getting kind of emotional, it's getting really serious. Both actors are trying to bring it, and then right as it's starting to get good, Krypto busts in and just starts turning Lex Luthor into a rag doll. I mean, we know that Krypto is super strong and super fast. He was able to hurt Superman earlier in the movie, so why would y'all have him come in there and just start tearing Lex to pieces? They think that it's just a big joke, he's just a big baby, he's just tearing things to pieces. That is a super powered dog. One wrong move and he's gonna devastate an entire city. One loose tennis ball, one rogue squirrel, it's over. And I know that James Gunn put Krypto in the movie to tell a story about an allegedly bad dog that he had that just would never listen to him, but dude, that's not the time and place to do that. Don't compromise the film just because you want to tell a funny story about a dog that you couldn't train. And this strips Superman of like any authority that he may command. Because while he's just tearing Lex to pieces, just throwing him around the room and he could kill him at any second, Superman's just sitting there like, come on now, Krypto. Come on, cut it out, bud. You better stop that. I'm just saying, I feel like Superman would have looked at Krypto and been like, Krypto, stop. And then he would stop because, you know, Superman, he commands respect and authority. But not this version of Superman. He does not command any respect or authority. He loses like every fight in the movie. Why would you do that? That's some Phase 4 Marvel shit right there. You're not subverting expectations and making things better, you're making things worse. Also, the whole plot line with his parents and the true meaning of why he was sent there, I thought that was better done in Smallville. I feel like that pretty much sums it up. And last but certainly not least, I have a massive problem with how they portrayed Supergirl in this movie. Once again, you have a very, very talented actress in the role. Why not turn it into a good character? But now James Gunn has to subvert expectations. So instead of Supergirl, we get Sweet D from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Later, boners.
She's a drunk, she's a loser, she's irresponsible. What? Why? I mean, Supergirl was done better on the CW, and that is just so sad. Now, I know that I've really shit on this movie a lot, like the cons outweigh the pros, but this movie it's a mixed bag. You know, it's not perfect. It is not terrible at all. It's a very, very fun movie, but it is very flawed. When it's good, it's really, really, really good. And when it's bad, it just kind of feels like a Marvel Phase 5 movie. It has all the familiar tropes of both cinematic universes that you come to expect by this point. Rushed world building, character growth that doesn't happen, MCU humor, compromising dialogue, fun action, and talented actors. But for me, I kind of forgot about most of the cons during the parts when it was good, because when the movie is fun, it's fun. Overall, would I recommend anyone go buy this movie or go watch it right now? I would say if you're a big fan of James Gunn's very specific style of directing, then yeah, you're probably gonna love it. If you're more of a Superman purist, then this movie, it might piss you off a little bit. Is it a decent start to the new DCU? Yeah, probably. I think it's a better start than Man of Steel was. But does it have tons of different aspects of the movie that were done better in the DCEU and MCU? Yeah, it does. Overall, the best way I can summarize this movie is whatever thoughts or doubts you had about it, well, they're probably true. If you were very excited because you love James Gunn's style of directing, then this movie's right for you. And if you're more of a purist of Superman who had some doubts about the character going in, then they're probably right. I think it's still worth a watch because it's a good fun time as long as you just, you know, turn your brain off a little bit in some situations, but it is a fun movie. So I would say y'all go out there and make up your own minds after you watch it. This is just what I have to say. But for now, I'm gonna hop off here and get to work on the next video. I'll see y'all all next time. Have a great rest of your weekend, okay? See ya!